there. Time now to Ask the Expert. Here to answer your questions about toxic relationships is family therapist Julianna Lyddon. All right, our first question is from Terry in Scottsdale. She says, I enjoy my job, but how do I deal with a toxic boss and some toxic coworkers?
Boy, I hear this one a lot.
I'm sure you do.
And you know, the thing is, it can be so difficult because some people just kind of live with it for so long.
Yeah, they put up with it.
They do,
Yeah.
because they
It's a
can't really
paycheck.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
because they can't really find anything else. But I actually work with them to help them kind of language how they can actually bring this up.
Yeah.
So it's very different if it's a coworker than it is if it's your boss,
Right.
right? I mean, we have to deal with it in a very different way, but there's still a way to do it. You still can, you know, meet with them. You can go to HR. There's a variety of different ways that you can handle this.
Okay. All right. Cindy from Mesa says, can you explain codependent relationships? I'm trying to free myself from a current roommate situation. Ooh, that's tough.
Yes. And codependency, you know, it's that situation where you're sacrificing a bit of yourself for someone else.
Yeah.
It's a real good way to think of it. And this also has to do with creating a lot of boundaries too, and really finding your voice to be able to say, you know what? I just can't do this anymore. And you have to do it because what happens is you just start killing yourself inside.
You can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't do anything. It affects you.
True. It really does.
Yeah. All right. Annie from Phoenix says, I am non-confrontational. Is it okay to just ignore friends who are toxic?
People do it.
Yeah.
And it just, again, it depends on, you know, how much you can handle it.
Right.
Sometimes you're in a big group. It's easy to kind of, like we said in the segment, move around and not have to be there.
Yeah.
But you certainly can.
Yeah.
It's when you hit that threshold where you say, okay, no more.
Yeah. After 50 text messages, I mean, it's like, okay, get the hint. All right. Pam from Prescott says, what can I do when our family gets together and someone always ends up leaving in tears? My mother-in-law often starts it, and I'm afraid to get in the middle of things.
Well, here we have something interesting because it's the mother-in-law.
Right.
So in these situations, I think it's really important to talk to your husband about this and create what kind of situation, you know, what kind of boundary, what kind of rules you want to start to implement.
Okay.
Because often the husband might need to speak to his mother if indeed this is the case. And so work that out first, how you guys are going to deal with that.
That's interesting, because I thought you were going to say, you know, you need to take the mother-in-law aside and deal, but I like that you kind of circumvent that and have the husband address.
Yes. And then you can kind of figure out how you want to do it, or maybe you limit time, you know, but at some point you have to bring it up.
You have to. All right. This viewer says, all of a sudden my husband has become verbally abusive. I'm afraid it's going to become physical abuse. I love him, but this is getting scary.
Wow. You need to stay safe, you know, and I tell women that are in situations like this, create a plan, because you never know.
An exit plan,
That's
right?
right. You never know when it's going to escalate unexpectedly. So figuring out, you know, do I have a bag? Do I have this? I mean, if it's starting to really get to that level, and you need to tell someone, you know, really tell someone, have a friend, have a family, an extended family member, or someone that you tell, because this is your life potentially.
And you really need the support.
You do.
Yeah, and
You
some
do.
guidance.
That's right. That's right.